Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight, so you don't have to. Wow, bro, this is really fucking pathetic. This is really pathetic. Like, how does this shit keep happening constantly all the time? Like, every chapter, you can reliably know that the hackers are gonna go in there, and then they're gonna fucking figure this, if it's original or licensed. Like, you can figure that out. But, like, how does this shit happen so consistently to the point where it's expected? To where these guys can get in there and just figure out the whole fucking chapter. So, allegedly. This is all alleged, but this is real. This definitely looks real. The perks definitely look very behavior. This definitely looks real. So, until I see otherwise, I'm going to assume this is real. So let's go ahead and work off some of the anniversary plate. And then we can just shave off 30 minutes of that video and then link it into the description of that video. So, what do we have here? Wow, what do we have here? This is the survivor of the next chapter, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. She looks like she's angry that Elon Musk bought Twitter. Don't you think? She looks like she's angry at the Roe v. Wade changes. So, look at this person, bruh. They look like they're gonna hold up a sign and go protest. Oh, goodness gracious. So, there you go on that. Definitely a behavior design. Normal people don't want this shit in Dead by Daylight, okay? This is supposedly the map, okay? Great, a building. Just what every logical player wants in DBD. More two-story buildings. Those are never bad for the game. Stop putting buildings in the maps! They don't work and they're survivor favored. Ugh. Those new Haddonfield buildings. Woo! Ooh-wee, bruh. Bad design there. This is something that, on my Discord, where we have a bot that, thanks AQ, we have a bot that like, posts some stuff from Twitter, and DBD Leaks is one of the shit we have. And, apparently, they leaked the next chapter, too. It's going to be a Resident Evil Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Apparently, Resident Evil want to see more of their iconic characters dwindle around, bubble, spaz out, and be completely ineffective. That's what they want. I don't understand why, but apparently, there's your fucking chapter 25, and apparently they're going to give us some more variations on the Resident Evil Police Raccoon City Police Department map. Oh, gee, Twizz behavior! Thanks so much, Daddy! That's exactly what we want! More Resident Evil Police Department variations. Great job, guys! That's exactly what we want. Thanks so much, Daddy! Ridiculous. And then chapter 26 is going to be original. Like, they shit out these licenses. I have, like, 50,000 iridescent shards patiently waiting for a fucking original chapter. And it just never fucking comes. It just never fucking comes, you guys. So apparently I gotta wait another fucking 6 months to actually use my shards. And you wonder why I bought fucking OP Michaela with her Circle of Healing perk. Ridiculous. Okay, so, with all that crap out of the way, let's examine the supposed perks of the next chapter. Major step down in quality. I don't know if we just think the game is balanced, but, like, at the same time, hopefully we get some fucking base changes for the balance this time. Because these perks aren't very good. The killer looks like a walking vagina. He's the only one I couldn't really post. He looks like a walking vagina, kind of like Demogorgon, except more so because his mouth's permanently open, whereas if Demo, when it's closed, you can't really tell. But yeah, this killer looks like a walking vagina. He looks like a Cenobite a little bit, but like way less cool than a Cenobite. Okay, he's called the Dredge, but that's neither here or there. So let's do the survivor perks first. A lifetime of chasing the darkness has taught you that the best disinfectant is light. Residual manifest, guys. After a successful blind action, the killer is affected by the blindness status effect for 30 seconds. Wow. So your shitty status effect that needs a rework in blindness can now be applied to the killer. Wow, I'm so scared. I'm really shaking in my boots. I can't wait to feel how useless blindness is when the people try that. Oh, Lightborn OP, bro. Lightborn counters the residual manifest. Lightborn OP. Please nerf. Ridiculous. This perk is fucking terrible. I'm not against the whole idea of give survivors another effect if they blind the killer, but like, blindness, that is not what you want as a status effect, survivors. Let me fucking tell you. Blindness is as useless as a wad of fucking paper. It's trash. Next, inner focus. Whenever another survivor loses a health state within a 32-meter range of you, the killer's aura is revealed for 5 seconds. Interesting idea to counter stealth killers, but like stealth killers are doing the worst in the game right now. You don't really need an aura reveal to counter stealth killers because the rate at which heals happen is genuinely too fast for them to kind of deal with. And with the amount of pitch a tent that's going on right now, it's hard to say that inner focus is going to help you deal with pitch a tent meta. This doesn't help you. It's pretty bad. Might be okay if pitch a tent ever goes away, but this is trash. Doesn't really do anything for you. In Identity 5, you get an aura reveal when the killer hits a survivor for the first time and it's cross map. And it's not very good. So, it's not very good. Overzealous. After cleansing any totem, this perk activates. Your generator repair speed is increased by 4%. Wow, guys. I don't think, as much as tempting as it is to shit on this perk for giving a gen speed increase, that's definitely not what the game needs, to be fair. It says cleansing any totem. Cleansing totems is really bad right now, because Circle of Healing is still in the game. And, It deactivates when you lose a health state. So, in pitch a tent meta and Circle of Healing meta, health states are kind of thrown around to the killer like they're candy because the killer can't down you and then the heals happen way too fast. So, a health state doesn't really do much for the killer. So, they're pretty much given to the killer for free, especially with Dead Hard in the game. Like, you don't really need to be protective of that first health state as Survivor because of how much stronger you are when you're injured. With Dead Hard, Iron Will, etc. So, that perk's pretty much going to be a non-factor just because it activates, it deactivates way too consistently. It doesn't help you deal with pitch a tent. And if you're being a good survivor, you have to go in and get those rescues on those pitch a tent killers anyway. So, so you have to give up your health states quite often. So it's kind of useless. Very trash selection of survivor perks this time around. Not going to do anything. I guess they gave Olmo another chance to design some perks here because these are all fucking terrible. Septic Touch for the killer. Whenever a survivor performs a healing action within your terror radius, that survivor suffers from blindness and exhaustion. This effects linger for 6 seconds after a healing action. Keep telling me healing's not a problem, guys. Every time, the last 2 patches have been dedicated to stop healing. They've been trying to put... Sloppy Butcher got a huge buff. Hemorrhage got a fucking rework. And now they're putting more perks in to punish heals. Okay? But let me tell you why this isn't going to do anything. Because you have to be within the terror radius, so you have to move. In Pitch a Tent, you don't want to move. You want to stay by that hook. Now, it might be a cheesy way to get some exhaustion status effects as like a ghost face or something. Like, it might be good with Nurse's Calling to see who can kind of get exhaustions. So it might be worth experimenting with, because exhaustion is rather tempting. If you can counter Dead Hard, you can win games. So, it's definitely worth experimenting with, but, like, by experimenting with, I mean 1 or 2 games, you're going to lose both games and then take it off, because it's not doing it. It's not going to do much for you. Especially when you lose control of the game and have to fucking run back to the hook, which you're going to be doing about 2 minutes into the game anyway. So, again, Septic Touch might be better later in a balanced meta, but right now, with the survivors having complete control of the game and the killer has to camp the hook to do anything, you're not going to see this go off as much as you'd like. Now, I mean, sometimes they kind of heal, like, next to the hook, so, like, maybe then you can get some cheesy counters, but, like, I just don't see it, bruh. This isn't very good. And they can also just move out of your terror. Like, if you don't see them, they can see that you're in the terror radius, either wait for you to leave, or leave themselves. There's ways to deal with this. And especially with how good coordination is. Garbage. Not going to do anything. Dissolution. Everything turns to dust. 3 seconds after injuring a survivor by any means, Dissolution activates for 12 seconds. Next time the survivor vaults over a pallet inside of your terror radius, the enemy will break the pallet at the end of the vault and this perk deactivates. Cute! There's no cooldown on that. There's no cooldown on that, ladies and gentlemen. So you can theoretically proc this over and over and over again. However, the activation condition's a little rough. You got to hit people, and then they have to do something. Whenever a perk relies on them doing something, that's not good. As soon as they realize that you have this, they're going to go right to the windows instead. Especially at tiles like a long wall jungle gym. Also, with the amount of health states that the survivors can afford to give up right now, they will gladly give up one health state in exchange for keeping a pallet. They will gladly do that. And then, it's not a challenge for survivors to kite bad killers for 12 seconds. This might be good on some of the better killers, like a nurse or a spirit, but like, here's the thing about nurse, spirit, and blight. They don't give a fuck about the pallets anyway, so they don't need them broken. They don't give a fuck. Any killer that this would be kind of good on are the killers that can really already down you anyway. Like a clown can't really use this because they have to hit a survivor. And then the survivor gets a speed boost. So I'm assuming that means 3 seconds after injuring a survivor. So probably right after their speed boost, this will proc. And then they have to do something. So again, you might get like one hit, one down maybe even with it. And it also says next time a survivor. So you could theoretically bounce to one guy and then get another guy. But like, you know, it's probably, I don't think that's worth it. It's just not, like, I understand that, like, the tiles are like, this perk was created in response to the fact that the devs know there are too many pallets on the map, and you can't just kick them all after they're pre-dropped or you'll lose the game. Okay? This is something the community figured out 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago? My bad, I meant 3 years ago. 3 years ago? Oh, my bad, I meant 3.5 years ago. Oh, did I say 3.5 years ago? Meant 4 years ago. Oh, did I say 4 years ago? I meant 4.5 years ago. Oh, did I say 4.5 years ago? I meant 5 years ago. What are we on, 6 fucking years now that we've known this? And like, we finally get a perk in response to it, but like, it doesn't do anything. Why can't you set, why can't, it should be stronger with a cooldown. The killer should be able, upon hitting maybe 3 survivors or something, like give an activation condition / cooldown and then make it stronger. Like, how about this? When the killer sees the survivor going to a pallet, then the entity can break it. How about that? Or maybe not even break it, just block it. And then the killer can get the down and then go break the pallet when they're down. Or something like that. Now, that wouldn't be, admittedly, like, the entity blocking the pallet wouldn't be as good, theoretically. But, like, when you have the perk here that's written so horribly, like, this isn't going to do much for you, if not anything at all. Especially when the Swift realizes you have it. Because, remember, survivors can pretty much do whatever they want. If they don't want to vault the pallet, they don't have to vault the pallet. Especially with Dead Hard, they can just go to Dead, they can burn their Dead Hard and then take the window that's near them instead. Or go to the next tile, and then to wait till this perk runs out. Or, better yet, you could just break the fucking pallet and not use this. Like, you know what I mean? This perk relies on you leaving pallets up, and that will fucking burn you more often than it'll help you. So I don't get the design here. Trash. Darkness revealed. Oh, goodness. When you open a locker, the aura of all survivors within 16 meters of any lockers are revealed to you for 3 seconds. This perk has a 30-second cooldown. That's kind of cute. It might be a weird gimmicky Lethal Pursuer replacement, if anybody uses that. Whereas instead of using Lethal Pursuer, where you get only 9 seconds of reveal on everybody at the start of the game, you could just go open some lockers, and then maybe you'll see people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a cute early / mid game perk. It's an early game perk that can kind of work in the mid game to kind of find where people are. So, like, maybe you can find their healing orgy and then stop them at one guy or something like that. So, very interesting perk here. This is the best perk of the patch. If these are all real, at least. That one is. Everything else just seems like it's overly designed. They're trying to be too cute. They're trying to be too cute. That's the big theme of this chapter. They're trying way too hard to be cute and come up with new shit. And, like, simplicity, just give us something simple. Give us something simple, effective, and good. That's all we need here. Okay, so there's that. Next, here's the killer. The dredge. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, when press and hold the power button to activate the gloaming. Once activated, the dredge leaves a remnant behind, so kind of like Spirit's Husk, is my guess. Aim at a locker and press the ability button to teleport into it, or press the attack button to return to Remnant. When the Remnant is disabled when teleporting into a locker or when the survivor touches it. While in a locker, aim at any other locker and to press the ability button again to teleport again. Each teleport consumes a power token. Exiting the locker or returning to your Remnant will activate the Gloaming's cooldown, after which all power tokens are recharged. Survivors can place locks on lockers to slow the Dredge exiting them. The Dredge can break locks by exiting the locker or performing a base attack on the lock. Each locker can only be locked once. So, let's analyze that. So this fucker basically teleports inside the fucking lockers. And he can teleport again inside the locker. So this is just a big movement ability, that is. And it's kind of inconsistent because you don't know where lockers are going to be. Sometimes maps have more than others. Some buildings you might not even be able to get to. Some entire sides of the map you might not be able to even get to. If I'm knowing some of these maps right, sometimes lockers are very, very spread out. So we don't. Okay, obviously, Killer Shack will have one. This is just something that the lockers have been such a non-factor on the game for a long time, to the point where probably a lot of players don't even fucking know where they are. Because the only killers that need to know where they are Trickster and Huntress. And even then, they get an aura reveal on the locker when they need it. So, they don't need to know where the fucking things are. They just get a reveal on them when they need them. So, but that Husk ability is another thing we need to talk about. Because that seems like it could be like a fucking spirit ability. But also not, because it doesn't seem like you can... The question here is can you attack... when you're, is there a way to exit the ability? Because you're leaving a husk behind. I'm assuming you go invisible, but we don't know anything yet because we haven't seen anything. This is all speculation. So I'm assuming you go invisible and then your husk just stands there. So can you exit the husk? Can you exit the power and not, I'm so bad at phrasing. When you commit to the ability, do you have to either return to the husk or go to the locker? Is there no other thing you can do? If you can, reappear, that puts this character in, a weird spirit type of place where, she has the mind games, right? Well, this character might have those too, except that's probably not how it works. It's probably just a movement ability. Or you can return to the husk, which will fool babies, and that's about it. But, when the survivors are gonna, because, when they see this, they have to analyze where they are. Because when they see you stopped, they can disable your husk by touching it, but what does that do? Does that just force you back on the husk? I got several. I'm assuming that would just force you back on the husk, which is probably what they want anyway. But then they're going to be right next to you. So, of course, they can just dead hard and make the pallet anyway. But, that's what that means. But, this power in chase, it seems like it could be cute. But, I really doubt Behavior is going to make it cute. They're going to make it the most counterable thing in the world. They're going to make it so when the killer... it commits to the power, they only have the two options of either going into the locker or returning to the husk, which is going to make it very easy to deal with. And then it won't be a factor in chase at all, if that's the case. So, basic 115 killer, let's go! Welcome to the fucking mid-tier. Special ability, Nightfall. The Nightfall meter builds when a healthy survivor is injured, a survivor is hooked, or the teleport is used. Once the Nightfall meter also fills faster for each survivor in the injured state. That ain't gonna be a problem, survivors, don't worry about it. Your healing speeds are more broken now than they've ever been, outside of 8-second self-care. Once the Nightfall meter is full, the Nightfall begins. During Nightfall, survivors must navigate in total darkness. What does total darkness mean, is my first question. You alright? You're becoming a regular on these videos. So, what does that mean, total darkness? Are you okay? Are you good? What does total darkness mean? In Mind's Eye, when you play as the Mind's Eye in Identity 5, you play in quote-unquote total darkness. But it's not really total darkness because you can still see everything. And I really doubt they would fucking actually make the survivors play in Total Darkness. Because this is the company of quote-unquote fun design. It's gotta be fun to play against. Like, what does navigating in Total Darkness mean? Is it to the point of impossibility? If it's to the point of impossibility, this character's gonna get nerfed. Because the survivors aren't gonna want to fucking deal with that. They're gonna fucking bitch it out of the game, just like they bitch everything else out of the game. Is this OP? Absolutely not. The survivors could play in Total Darkness and not know what the fuck they're doing, and it would be fine. Because all it would really mount to for is a down. It ends after 60 seconds, and the length of it also implies it's not going to be Total Darkness. Because if it's 60 seconds in Total Darkness, with the killer being able to see the survivors, and the survivors not being able to do anything about it, that could potentially win the killer the game. So, it's definitely not going to be Total Darkness. That's definitely just a cute tagline. Total fucking Darkness. Yeah, it's faster with a shorter cooldown, and there is no terror radius. Nightfall ends after 60 seconds. Survivors destroying the remnant also reduces the time of an active nightfall. How are they going to see the remnant to destroy it if they're in total fucking darkness? Total darkness is not happening. Total darkness is not happening. Like they definitely used very poor phrasing there. Because there is no way they're going to do that to the survivor. Like, it could be like their vision goes out every now and again. Like, maybe. Like, it'll be like, they can see 1 second and then they can't the following second, which would be cute. The killer would have mind games. But, like, total fucking darkness is not happening. And even if it's just like a phase where it goes in and out, that will likely be nerfed. Its duration's going to get toned down. And, like, even if it's bad, it'll get nerfed. So, in conclusion, don't get too excited. It seems a bit interesting, but, like, we have to see it first. Just saying Total Darkness on paper, like, that's like you're promising something there's no way you're going to deliver on. There's absolutely no way Total Darkness is coming. So, I'm not excited for it, because I know this company. So, in conclusion, quite embarrassing that your anniversary chapter gets leaked in this fashion. Very embarrassing. And like, somebody needs to be fired over there for this shit. Like, this is to the point, and it's happened so often to the point of it's unacceptable. Who is doing this shit? Who designs their defenses over there? Like, I would like them, I do like knowing if it's gonna be original or licensed, but here's the thing, they should tell us that. We shouldn't have to fucking dig for it. But like, this is all dreck. The perks are very shit. Every perk is bad. Like, stop giving Almo another chance. These perks are horrible, and I know who designed them, because they fucking suck. The last chapters had standout perks that were going to be options at high level. This doesn't. This sucks. The fucking Darkness Revealed perk is probably a collab with Almo. Almo's probably the one who put the 30-second cooldown on the damn thing. Useless. So, in conclusion, the perks are useless. The map is a building. Great. The survivor is mad at Elon Musk. And the killer is going to put you in quote-unquote total darkness. Well, you know what? You know what should be in total fucking darkness? This fucking chapter. It should be in, like, we shouldn't know anything about it. This is the anniversary, bruh. Like, now I'm disappointed now as opposed to being disappointed on the anniversary. Embarrassing. So, I probably just saved myself 30 minutes on the anniversary, and I can just either feed this video in or just fucking throw it in the description. But overall, quite embarrassing stuff. This is really ridiculous. This needs to stop, behavior. Get your shit together. How often does this happen to other companies? Like, never. Like, never. It's embarrassing. Like, how easy of a target is this millionaire company that they can't fucking scrounge up a defense budget against a fucking Skrillex in his basement with his $20 hacking gear? Like, how bad is it over there that they can't do that? Embarrassing trash, dude. So as always, this company puts out colossal failure, and hopefully, speculation on the actual anniversary chapter now. Hopefully we get an actual announcement on the fucking Mori mechanic. That is the most important thing coming up. I don't want it in the game. I want an announcement. I want to know what the fuck is coming. Because that Mori mechanic could help balance the fucking game. So hopefully they fucking give us that. Hopefully they fucking nerf Dead Hard this anniversary. That would be really cool. It would bring people back to the game. Oh, all in all, Behavior's overthinking everything right now. They're overthinking it. Ridiculous. I'm getting the hell out of here, lads. G fucking G's. This game is trash, and I'll be playing it soon.